No, he did not. I haven't gotten on that subject. I wish I had, but I did not. But, yeah, they're going to see, oh, by the way, there are many, many, many MF Globals lurking out there in the shadows that have not taken place yet. You haven't seen anything. They're going to bring about the loss of, please let me say it again, by the end of 2012, all private fortunes will be lost that are not secured by paper. And you've got to get into, okay, now the next one. Welfare recipients. Oh, they covered so many things with me about 5 or 6 months ago. It scared the daylights out of me. Welfare recipients, food stamps, people who are getting them, those who are on Social Security. You will not, are you listening, folks? You will not have your checks cut off. You will continue to get them. You'll get them right on through 2012 and probably up through 2013, and you will continue to get them, and I'm going to give you the date when you'll quit getting them. They know that the day that the food stamp recipients, the food and the welfare recipients and the Social Security people are cut off, that our cities will burn. They want the New World Order brought in their way, and they will continue to give you your checks until the day that the American government defaults on its national debt. And I'm saying it. I said it before. I gave it on Alex Jones' show, I think last time I was here. The national debt will be defaulted on, not necessarily this year nor next. It may take a few years. They want to do everything else first in the way of loss.
They're going to bring everything down before they then do that. But they will. They are freezing colas. So you still get the check. It just doesn't buy as much.
It won't buy as much. And I have had some innovations, which I can't talk about today, maybe after the first of the year, as to some time frame and what will be happening to the American dollar, because they said to me that the American dollar will be dead by the end of 2012. The next one, very quickly, because I know we're giving out of time here. If you own a farm and it's paid for, if you own a house, folks, are you beginning to realize why it scared the daylights out of me when I got all this? And are you understanding why you won't find this in any newsletter? You haven't heard anybody talk about this one, I guarantee you. If you own a farm and it's paid for, you own a house and it's paid for, you have a business and you've been wise enough not to get a small business loan, you must immediately go and get enough gold and silver to pay your taxes for 3 to 5 years. If the elite cannot confiscate your property because you can't pay your mortgage, and they will, they'll confiscate that house if there's a mortgage on it, that boat.
And they'll let millions of houses sit empty just because that's what they want to do. They're already doing it. I mean, they want to wreck things. They say they want to wreck things.
Yeah, they want to turn around and rent it back to you. And the Federal Reserve is nothing but the elite. It is not federal.
No, you're right. Just like the Great Depression, that they engineered the whole thing. That was declassified. They're going to want it. You've got to be ready for up to 5 years to pay for everything.
You're going to have to be able to pay those taxes down the line, even though the states and the counties have been bailed out by the Federal Reserve, and they will control them and own them at that point. But if you can't pay your taxes, this will be the next method that they will use to confiscate and get everything that is left. You must go and get enough gold and silver, which you say, wait a minute, the county and the state, they won't accept gold and silver for
you cash it in for whatever the paper currency is?
Cash it in for whatever the currency is that they issue at that time, and you are not going to lose one thing. You pay $1,700 for an ounce of gold right now. It'll be worth 3 and 4. I'm predicting at least 3, because you have to back the world currency with it, and you'll be able to go and pay your taxes, keep your farm. You can live a successful life under the New World Order program if you know what to do right now, and you take the time to do it, Alex.
Knowledge is power. People perish for lack of knowledge. I know I've known this information, and it's been nothing but a boon to myself and the listeners. When gold was $260, we told them now it's $1,700, $1,800. And they can move it up and down, but if they're devaluing currencies worldwide, there's only a matter of time till it goes up. Incredible. Tell us the rest of what they told you on the other side. Lindsey Williams is our guest. Amazing information today. And tonight on the Nightly News, 7 o'clock, you're not going to want to miss that. Jam-packed with news. I haven't gotten to a lot of calls the last few days, but I'm going to tomorrow. And then on Sunday, 4 to 6. But wow. I wish this stuff wasn't true. I wish this wasn't happening. I mean, they're admitting a Bank of the world government run by Goldman Sachs you'll pay your taxes to when they're the ones engaged in all the fraud. And I know Lindsey Williams has these sources. We have some similar ones through our connections that basically we get the same information. But Lindsey knows these guys well, the one that's alive now, and can really, get a lot of stuff out of them. And it's disgusting that it's gotten to this point, but this is their plan. And I've seen them do it in third world countries. I've interviewed their economic hitmen like John Perkins. A lot of this stuff's been declassified. I've read State Department training manuals. That's what Tragedy and Hope is. It's almost 1,000 pages, or is it over 1,000 with a bibliography? That was only for government people to read, but the plates got out and it got printed. And the government admits it's there. And so here's an 1,100-page book or whatever. I guess, yeah, some versions of the bibliography. Here it is, and this is what we're doing, so they can understand. Well, wait, the banks run communism and fascism, and again, it's complex, but once you see it, it's like, well, that makes total sense. They get everybody in fake debt, and then get them in more fake debt for more fiat garbage, and then they get all the real assets. This is how they operate. It's the power of saying, I control the money. As Lord Rothschild said, Lindsey, other points that he made to you when you talked to him 7 days ago, other things he raised.
Yes, I've only given 3. The elite have a think tank. And I say this with respect for all of my pastor friends. In some instances, the elite know more than most preachers do. Why did things not take place in the year 2000? There's a reason why. Why are things not taking place until the year 2012? Now, there's a reason why, and they have thought this through. And when I found this out, I was so startled. I went to my scriptures. I began to look every way I could, and I found out that the Bible is in perfect agreement with what these people are thinking is going to happen in 2012. There are going to be some divine manifestations. I did not say divine intervention. I said divine manifestations in 2012. I give them all in our new series, 2012, the beginning of the end. Also, one other thing, and I know we've got seconds here, so I'm going to give us one more. One of the agendas of the elite in 2012 is such a simple word, but it is so profound it's almost unbelievable. It's the word fear, F-E-A-R, fear. There has not been a single terrorist attack since 9/11, yet they've got you scared to death. You go to the airports, and they make you think you're a criminal. You're shaking your shoes as you give them your identification. You go to the courthouse, and you take off everything that's metal from beginning to end. Then they gave you L-anine and Planet X, and every bit of it was a method of instilling fear. And so I contacted 2 of my medical friends. One of them you'd recognize him immediately because he has a nationwide radio show every week on medicine. And I said, what does fear do when when the human body is put in the presence of fear? And he said, Chaplain, very simple. It shuts off the brain. I said, oh, my gracious. That's exactly what they're doing. Folks, do not allow yourself to fall into the trap of the agenda of the elite. And one of their agendas is to make you scared to death. Quit looking behind bushes. Sleep well at night. Know the issues that you're hearing it on Alex Jones' show from week to week, and then take action and do something about it.
Well, Lindsey, there's one more point you got to make. So can you do 5 minutes of overdrive, or do you have to go?
Oh, I'm in no hurry, Alex. I'll stay with you as long as you want.
All right, well, the main transmission ends now. We'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock Central at Prisonplanet.tv. But I want to come back and any other loose ends you haven't covered in this little 5-minute giblet. Straight ahead, back in 60 seconds, Prisonplanet.tv. A little overdrive here, a little addendum with Lindsey Williams. We'll obviously have to get back up next week if we can do it to flesh more of this out and take calls. I want to point out there's been another shooting, at least 2 shot hours ago at Virginia Tech, same place where they had shooting before. A lot of suspicious stuff in the last one. We'll see what's happening here. As Blagojevich gets 14 years in prison, when compared to the rest of the Obama mafia, he's nothing, Corzine and others. Just incredible that happened. But I certainly won't cry my milk at night about it. But, Lindsey, there was one other point you were going to get to, and then anything else he told you 7 days ago?
Paper. Can you afford to lose it? Any paper you've got, anything that you've got in the way of assets that's in paper. If you can't afford to lose it, you better get out of it immediately. There is going to be a financial crash, but it'll take place down the line when you least expect it. Same thing with Iran. when you least expect it, you're going to have gasoline at the gas pump, $8, $9, and $10 a gallon, and it'll probably go there overnight when the conflict starts with Iran. They will take the price where they want it to go. Many of you remember that about 9 months ago, I went to them after the Egyptian conflict, and I said to my elitist friend, what in this world are you doing? I said, you told me it wasn't going to be with Iran, but there would be a conflict in the Middle East. And he said, yeah. And I said, but what are you doing over here? Why is this happening? And he gave me, and I appeared on your show and told it, Alex, and it startled you. I said everything that they're going to do in the Middle East, and have you noticed that each nation has been taken in the exact order that I gave it right here? You'll find it in the archives of the Alex Jones Show, not because I gave it, but because my elitist friend gave it to me. It, first of all, was there was Egypt, and then it went down to Gaddafi, and then each one of these nations, one after the other, everything has happened exactly as they said. Egypt, Libya, Kuwait, Yemen, and now they're right down to Syria, and next will be Saudi Arabia, even though most people and most newsletter writers don't think there's going to be a crisis there. It will happen. They're getting the Bakken field of North and South Dakota and Montana ready. You must see the largest oil rig that has ever been produced on the face of the earth. You'll see it in our new presentation, 2012, the beginning of the end. It's on Gull Island. They're going down 8 miles. They know that there's the mother lobe of all oil fields there, and it'll be brought in just about the time that the Middle East situation gets so hot that they produce it from America's own oil fields at $150 to $200 a barrel, if you can even get it at the gas pump. And by that time, you'll be begging for gasoline. You'll be begging for the new world currency. You'll be begging for the new world order. Okay, one thing, Alex, that I do need to touch on, though, that I just barely touched on the earlier segment. I was so fascinated when I found out what their think tank has found out. 2012, they know, the elite know good and well, that in 2012, there's going to be some things take place that they have never seen take place on the face of the earth before. And when I was given this, I had to go do some studying on my own, even though for many, many years I have tried to give out the Word of God the best I could. Why didn't things happen in the year 2000? They were supposed to have. I and nearly every other Christian that I know of thought that something was going to happen on the year 2000, and it didn't. Nothing took place. And I must admit to you, I was a little disappointed. I'm not talking about the coming of Jesus Christ. That is not my subject matter here at all. I'm talking about some sort of divine manifestation, intervention, something taking place. Nothing happened in the year 2000. It took the elite to find out why. 2012, now please let me give it to you quickly if I can, from in the book of, in the Old Testament.
I'll tell you what, Lindsey, let's do this. The show's absolutely over. Can you come on at 11:30 Central tomorrow?
Be more than happy to.
Jaron, are we open at 11:30 tomorrow on the show? Okay, we will call you at 11:30 and do 30 minutes on the Devil's Messiah and this information we didn't get to tomorrow, Lindsey. I really appreciate you joining us. That's it for this broadcast. It'll go back into rebroadcast with the FEMA camp and ATF news that's coming up after this break in the retransmission. Lindsey, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 11:30 Central, okay?
Thank you, Alex. Lord bless. Have a good day.
All right, folks. See you tonight, 7 o'clock with